We've been talking for years about the need to create 21st century skills for our young people, but we haven't really talked about another critical element, and that is how important it is to have a generation of 21st century leaders.
21st century learning is exciting because you're talking about pushing kids further than they've been before. So the whole idea that education is not just rote learning, it's not just memorizing details and facts. That's a part of education, is mastering the fundamental skills. But the excitement of 21st century learning is moving ahead in those different ways that we haven't thought of before.
Adults have a lot of opinions about what children should learn, and we call that oftentimes standards in the way that we define curriculum. The reality is that the old style kind of teaching that I would describe as the traditional 20th century teaching, teacher in front of a teaching wall, kids in rows, passive learning, is really over. In this day and age, that it's kids active, it's kids engaged, it's kids being able to find out whatever it is that they need at any moment in time in order to be able to accomplish whatever jobs they want to accomplish, whether it's in school, out of school, in careers, in college.
Building a leadership team is extremely important. I have to be able to trust each one of my assistant superintendents and deputy superintendents to be independent leaders of their own portion of the organization, and also so concerned about the overall performance of Fairfax County Public Schools that they're compelled to work with one another across silos.
There are a lot of great ideas out there, but how do you bring it to scale in a large district or even in a small district? And I think the answer is that you have to think big and start small, because we know that when you take those best people, those early adopters, those innovators, and you put resources behind them, they will develop, they will exceed your expectations, and then from there it spreads by like wildfire. It just does.
The leaders of today, and I believe the leaders of tomorrow, are faced with challenges, and those challenges really focus on those things that inhibit what we can do as a school division and inhibit the things that our classroom teachers can do on a day-to-day basis. And so now I think it's time for the courageous leaders to come forward. They've got to create the types of teams that look towards the future of collaboration and team decision-making and personal responsibility and technology and all those things that we've talked about to really drive down now. And that's so much the opportunity for our kids to be proficient, but the opportunity for our kids to really be 21st century learners.
The breakthroughs that we need to make in looking at 21st century skills is not looking at them in discrete units, but looking at them holistically and how well they're interconnected. What you want is leaders who think that way as well.
You have to reconsider education that was created about 100 years ago during the Industrial Revolution for the Industrial Revolution. Certainly that is not the day that our students are going to live in, and so you have to start rethinking, you know, what is it that we want our students to know and be able to do, and how do we want to teach them in a way that produces sustainable learning.
I think you need to have people that really represent an understanding that it's about the team, and they understand what teamwork looks like, that they're not there to promote their own agenda, but they're there to find what's the pathway that we need to take in order to be able to meet the agenda for our team to be as successful as possible. And I define our team as being the kids, the parents, the teachers, the principals, the folks in central office, the bus drivers, everybody in the divisions on that team. So as leaders, what do we do to support each other to lead that team?
As difficult as this current period in education policy is, 5, 10, 15 years from now, more and more districts are going to look and say, well, we need 21st century education. Are there models? And you know what? The leaders that step forward today are the ones that are going to be the beacons then and say, yes, we've been doing this 5, 10, 15 years. We'd be glad to help you.